to Denzel as he accepts the AFI Life Achievement Award.
I'm up here to say thank you to God for giving me this ability, for blessing me, for shaping me, for chastising me, for teaching me, for punishing me, for allowing me to be a vessel.
Whew. I got, in the rap song when it goes bah, 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 and they run it back, I got to run that back. We got to double back.
I'm up here to say thank you to God for giving me this ability, for blessing me, for shaping me, for chastising me, for teaching me, for punishing me, for allowing me to be a vessel and touch people around the world. I want to
Look at him. Up there, still repping the kingdom, giving God glory. Well, he receives his Lifetime Achievement Award. He's like, I know I achieved this. He knows. He's tapped into the source.
thank AFI, Cicely Tyson, Ed Zwick, Spike Lee, Carl Franklin, Alan Nirop. My mother, she's 95 years old now. She's something else. She's tough. Everything ends in because I'm your mother, that's why. Shut up. Still, the other day. Because I'm your mother, that's why. Shut up.
I told you his mom is wise counsel. And rightfully so. Good guiding voice in his life. Awesome.
To my father, who taught me by example how to be a gentle man, the most important person in my life. 40 years of sacrifice, 40 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, love, real love, unwavering love. And
real love. Not the world's love, real love.
in spite of myself,
Exactly. I love that.
I would not be alive without Pauletta Washington. I wouldn't be alive. Small minds discuss other people, gossip. Good minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. I was Eleanor Roosevelt. I was also Pauletta's father, my father-in-law. He was a great man.
Let's hear that part again. I really like that part. He is absolutely right. Small minds discuss other people. Gossip. Talking about the gossip. The news cycle that everybody loves so much. I really like what he's saying. Small minds discuss other people and gossip. But people that don't have small minds.
Gossip. Good minds discuss events.
Good minds discuss events. Talking about events. Things that happen.
Great minds discuss ideas.
There we go. Great minds discuss ideas. Sit down and have a conversation. It might start with that current event, but it's not going to end with the gossip. It's going to start with, well, what can we do? How can we be better? Am I doing my part? How does that fit in the Christian perspective? What can we take away from this? Everyone can check themselves every day with that and see if they have succeeded in following that advice, or they have not succeeded and they follow the small minds. What type of mind do you want to be at the end of the day? I'm going to listen to that again in its entirety and be quiet so you can hear that for the effect.
Small minds discuss other people, gossip. Good minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. I was Eleanor Roosevelt. I was also Pauletta's father, my father-in-law. He was a great man. He taught me so much about what being a man really is. I want to end the night with a short video that we recorded of Pauletta's father 30 years ago that my son, Malcolm, gave me, an AFI graduate. Just a short 30-second video, and this is what Pauletta's father had to say 30 years ago.
We were put here for a reason. God created man, and God intends for us to love all mankind. And by being in a loving mood, caring for one another.
I like that. I've never heard it presented like that's why I love listening to people who have experienced life. This man is from a different era and said, being in a loving mood. I never thought of love as a mood before. I like that. And I just really like the way that flew together.
Mankind. And by being in a loving mood, caring for one another. That's our purpose for life. We should care for one another. And we should love one another.
That's important right there. I'll really, in a loving mood. I'm going to try to be in a loving mood. It's easy for us to be in a loving mood towards, our spouse. As I'm thinking about it, I mainly think about my spouse when I think of a loving mood. But I never thought of approaching the world with a loving mood. I've always seen loving, love your neighbor, and you're trying to learn how that even quantifies into reality, right? What does that look like? So a loving mood. Bring the mood, change the mood. I mean, you know how somebody's mood can affect the room. If you got a bad attitude or somebody's stressed, having a loving mood sounds awesome. I'm glad I got to hear that.
In this Twitter tweet, meme, mean world that we've created for our children, the least we can do is consider what we've done and think about the young people, the future, and individually, collectively do the best we can to try and turn this thing around. I blame no one. I look in the mirror.
That part. You got to look in the mirror. All the ideas, the agendas, everything that we pushed to help get us to this point, maybe our own rebellion. We look in the mirror. We try to push ahead. Remember them old folks was telling us, or them older dudes was telling us when we were younger, and we weren't trying to hear it. We got to find a better way. Sometimes certain things would get through and creep through because they were relentless. A lot of people that are trying to give you knowledge are relentless a lot of times, and thank God for that, because you weren't trying to hear that, but you heard that. It crept through and grabbed a hold of you.
On the other side of it,
a lot of the younger generation no longer has that.
On the other side of it, what an opportunity we have, because tomorrow's the first day of the rest of our lives. So what an opportunity we have to practice what he preached. Good night.
To practice what he preached. That's right. I mean, I'm definitely going to try to practice what he preached. And I hope you're going to try to practice what he preached. And I hope that you learned something tonight as we took a look at Denzel's small part that he shared with us, Denzel's life. And that he prepared speeches that impacted people. And he took I don't know if the right words, an oracle of information, an encyclopedia, a wealth of knowledge from somebody he knew personally, and he shared it with us. And that's what we're here on earth, is building that knowledge. It's compound knowledge. We're building and building and building. We can build bad things and we could build good things. Like you said, we could build ideas, or if you spend your whole time just talking about other people, like if I did this and I was, look how Denzel's doing this. He's a good Christian. He's a Christian. He's this, that. But we actually sat here, looked at him, observed his heart, and seen what we could pull from that. And then we grabbed ideas from that, from events that happen. So like you said, small minds just gossip. We're looking at events. Now we're discussing events. You're discussing events with me. And now we're looking at ideas. The ideas that he shared with us through all of these videos that we watched. We're now able to take those ideas and utilize what maybe there was something that you grabbed that I didn't see. Maybe you're like, hey, I grabbed the same thing you did. That makes sense. Or, hey, thanks for pointing that out. We're all on the same page. And so now we have this idea to have that loving mood. So I just want to tell you guys, thanks for hanging out. God, Family, Country. There's a reason why I named it God, Family, Country. Number one, you got to keep God first. And you're no good to anybody unless you got that squared away. You're working on that. Family's next. And friends become family. You know how it is. And country. This country that we live in, that we've been blessed in, that we are able to not be persecuted. Right now, Christians are being persecuted in Africa, in China, in the Middle East, in a lot of different places. Those are just off the top of my head that I know that if you look at Voice of the Martyrs and I've been subscribing to them for years now and looking at their world maps, and they'll show you where Christians are being persecuted and Christians are being attacked. For some reason, it is an acceptable form of, not for me, but for some people, it's an acceptable form of hate where we don't get as much attention because it's a Christian. But if it was, me, a human is a human. And I don't think we should be persecuting Christians and allowing Christians to be persecuted for something they believe in. So you guys stay blessed. Pray for the persecuted. Check out Voice of the Martyrs. You want to see the map? Maybe I can even pull the map up real quick before we go. Voice. So you can see right here on the map is we got restricted, hostile, and monitored. So let's look at everything here. We got Africa, restricted, hostile, restricted, hostile. That's in West Bank and Gaza and Israel. Lebanon's hostile. Nepal, hostile towards Christians. China's restricted. But there's some hostile. Don't think that restricted doesn't mean that people aren't dying over there as martyrs. No, it's going down. We got Venezuela, and in Colombia, it looks like there's some hostility as well. Indonesia, hostile. Mexico, hostile. I didn't know that. Oh, so they are persecuted in rural areas of indigenous minority groups. Let's go back and let's look at in China, where we get all our trade from. So a Christian nation that trades with another nation. So we're going to look at this a little bit more next time. It's a little bit late at night, and I want to look at this in a good light with good energy and have it a little bit prepared. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys that people are persecuted in the Christian church all over the world. So God bless everybody. Everyone have a good night. God, Family, Country.